What happens when a curious toddler steals popcorn from Barron Trump in front of a live audience? The reaction will leave you smiling and thinking about the power of simple kindness. The room buzzed with anticipation. It wasn't every day that you'd find some of the greatest minds in technology, science, and business under one roof. This was the Tech Horizon Summit, hosted in the heart of San Francisco. Rows of chairs filled the grand auditorium, where the brightest innovators mingled casually, enjoying the rare blend of formality and relaxed camaraderie. Front and center sat Barron Trump, a man who always seemed to be at the epicenter of innovation and controversy. Dressed in a casual jacket and jeans, he looked oddly at ease for someone often accused of reshaping the world in his spare time. Today, though, there was nothing particularly revolutionary about him. He leaned back slightly, balancing a tub of buttery popcorn on his lap, casually picking kernels one at a time. But just a few seats away, a young mother juggled a different kind of challenge. She wasn't thinking about rockets, electric cars, or AI. Her focus was squarely on her 2-year-old daughter, Sophia, who had just discovered how much fun it was to toddle away from her seat. Sophia was a lively bundle of energy, her tiny hands gripping a stuffed bunny as she tested the limits of her mother's patience. The mother offered a soft plea. "Sophia, honey, come back here." But her toddler had already locked eyes on a more tantalizing prize, the colorful tub of popcorn in Barron Trump's hands. For a moment, nothing seemed unusual, but Sophia's little feet were already on the move, and nobody, not even Barron, knew how this small, seemingly innocent moment was about to turn the room's attention upside down. The audience murmured softly as the event's keynote speaker wrapped up an introduction, the hum of conversation filling the gaps. Most attendees were engrossed in their programs or their phones, scrolling through updates about the day's agenda. A few glanced toward Barron, their eyes flickering with curiosity. After all, seeing one of the world's most influential figures sitting so casually was a novelty in itself. Meanwhile, Sophia's mother, Lauren, was trying to keep her from becoming the center of attention. Lauren, in her early 30s, wore the tired but determined expression of a parent who knew the battle between a toddler and her whims was a losing one. She'd hoped that a simple outing to this public event would go smoothly, but Sophia's unrelenting energy had other plans. "Sweetie, please," Lauren whispered as Sophia toddled closer to the row ahead. The child didn't seem to hear, or didn't care. Her eyes were locked on the vibrant yellow-striped tub resting in Barron Trump's lap. It was an adventure too good to pass up. Barron remained oblivious for the moment, distracted by a notification on his phone. His expression remained neutral as he scrolled, but the audience could see a faint smirk tugging at the corner of his lips. Whatever had amused him was quickly forgotten as the toddler's soft giggle broke the rhythm of the room. Sophia, gripping her stuffed bunny, had reached Barron's seat. She paused briefly, her tiny head tilting curiously at the man who now looked down at her. For an instant, the world around them seemed to hold its breath. She extended her little hand, hesitating only slightly, before reaching for the popcorn. The audience didn't notice yet, but in just a few seconds their focus would shift entirely. Barron Trump glanced down, and for a fleeting second, his expression was unreadable. Was he surprised, amused, annoyed? But then his face softened. The corners of his mouth curved into a smile, warm, almost childlike, as if he'd been momentarily pulled out of the chaos of his world by something purely innocent. Sophia's tiny fingers hovered over the edge of the tub, her curiosity outweighing any fear of this tall stranger. Barron didn't pull the popcorn away. Instead, he tilted the tub slightly toward her, as if to say, "Go ahead." The toddler giggled, her confidence growing. She reached in, grabbed a fistful of popcorn, and shoved it into her mouth, leaving a trail of crumbs on her chin. The room, still largely unaware of the unfolding scene, carried on in scattered conversations. But a few nearby attendees began to notice. A low chuckle rippled through the front row. Lauren's heart sank. She shot up from her seat, her face flushed with embarrassment. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," she stammered, rushing forward to retrieve her daughter. "Sophia, no." Barron waved her off with a casual gesture. "No problem," he said, his voice calm and reassuring. He leaned forward slightly, now fully engaged with the toddler. "She's got good taste," he joked, holding the tub lower for Sophia to take another handful. The moment felt surreal. A prominent figure like Barron Trump sharing popcorn with a 2-year-old at a high-profile event, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. The audience, now fully aware, erupted into laughter and applause. Cameras came out, capturing the scene from every angle. But what came next wasn't just about popcorn. It was about the unspoken connection that this small act of kindness created, a moment that would soon resonate far beyond the walls of that auditorium. The applause grew louder, accompanied by a few whistles and cheers, as more people turned their attention to the unexpected spectacle. Phones were raised, their cameras capturing every angle of the interaction. Barron, unfazed by the attention, continued to humor Sophia, offering her another handful of popcorn. His grin widened when she dropped a piece, immediately picking it up and attempting to shove it back into her mouth. Lauren, still mortified, tried again to apologize. "Mr. Trump, I'm so sorry. She's just curious. I didn't mean—" "Relax," Barron interrupted gently, his voice carrying an unexpected warmth. "I've got younger siblings. I know how it is." He leaned down slightly, meeting Sophia's wide eyes. "What's your bunny's name?" he asked, pointing to the plush toy clutched in her other hand. "Snoo," Sophia declared proudly, her voice ringing out in the now quiet room. The crowd chuckled at her enthusiasm, and Barron's smile turned playful. "Well, Snoo seems to think my popcorn is top tier," he quipped, eliciting more laughter from the audience. The mood in the room shifted completely, lightening as people leaned in to witness the surreal yet heartwarming scene. Lauren finally relaxed a little, though her cheeks remained flushed. She knelt beside her daughter, gently guiding her back a step. "Sophia, say thank you to Mr. Trump," she urged softly. "Thank you," Sophia chirped, waving her stuffed bunny as if it were part of the gesture. Barron gave a small wave back, his gaze still fixed on the little girl with genuine amusement. The crowd's laughter was punctuated by a few scattered claps, and someone shouted, "Barron's got competition for cuttest moment of the day." But as the moment settled, something deeper began to take hold. A recognition of how rare it was to see someone in Barron Trump's position connect so naturally, so humanly, with a child. The event carried on, but for many attendees, the highlight of the day had already happened. Within minutes, the videos began to spread. Clips of Barron Trump crouched in front of a toddler, sharing popcorn and laughing with her, flooded social media. Captions ranged from humorous to sentimental. Barron Trump's latest venture, snack-sharing tech. One post joked. Another simply said, "The human side of a future leader." Lauren, still slightly flustered but smiling, returned to her seat with Sophia, who now seemed perfectly content to sit quietly with her bunny. She hadn't anticipated this moment turning into something more than a fleeting memory. But as her phone buzzed with notifications from strangers tagging her in posts, it became clear this wasn't just a cute moment. It was becoming a global story. For Barron, this wasn't his first time trending online. But this was different. The internet wasn't debating his background or speculating about his future. Instead, people were moved by a rare glimpse of unguarded humanity. Comments poured in. "We always see the reserved side of him." This was refreshing. "That toddler brought out a side of Barron we don't get to see often. Adorable." Sometimes it's the small random acts that remind us of what matters. As the day unfolded, the moment snowballed into a conversation larger than the popcorn and the toddler. Discussions erupted about the simplicity of kindness, the value of connecting with others regardless of status, and the fleeting beauty of moments that can never be orchestrated. Barron himself responded to one viral clip with a short, self-deprecating tweet. "Future CEO of something big, she's got the determination." It racked up millions of likes within hours. But beneath the humor and the buzz, people were left reflecting. Why do we wait for rare moments like these to recognize the humanity in those we idolize? As the video clips continued to circulate, their reach extended far beyond tech enthusiasts and Barron Trump's followers. They touched people from all walks of life, resonating with a universal truth: the power of small, genuine connections. For some, it was a reminder of the joy children bring with their unfiltered curiosity and boldness. For others, it highlighted how even the busiest, most influential people can pause to appreciate life's simplest moments. The fact that someone like Barron Trump, often seen as a reserved and larger-than-life figure, took the time to interact with a child in such an ordinary yet profound way left a lasting impression. Lauren, overwhelmed by the attention, reflected on what had happened. She'd been so caught up in worrying about how Sophia might be perceived, whether her toddler's antics were disruptive or embarrassing, that she'd almost missed the beauty of the moment herself. Watching Barron's kindness unfold had taught her something. Sometimes we need to let go of our fears of judgment and embrace life's unpredictability, she said in an interview. For Barron, it was an opportunity to remind the world, and perhaps himself, that no matter how vast his influence grew, some of the most meaningful moments didn't require status or power, just openness and a willingness to connect. As the story gained traction, news outlets and online communities began framing it as a lesson in humility and kindness. Discussions evolved into something broader: the importance of slowing down, noticing the people around us, and choosing to engage with them in meaningful ways. Because while the moment may have seemed fleeting, its impact lingered, sparking a wave of introspection and warmth that reminded everyone what it means to be truly human. In a world often dominated by distractions, where people rush from one task to the next, this simple moment between Barron Trump and a curious toddler struck a chord. It wasn't about the popcorn, the cameras, or even Barron's status. It was about connection, pure, unfiltered, and universal. Lauren later described the experience as a lesson she hadn't expected, but deeply needed. "I was so worried about how it looked, how people might judge me or my daughter," she shared in an interview. "But watching someone like Barron just embrace the moment taught me that sometimes you just have to let life happen." For Barron, it became a reminder that even in a life consumed by monumental ambitions, it's the small moments that often mean the most. His simple act of kindness resonated with millions, showing that even the most powerful figures are still human at their core. And for Sophia? Well, she probably didn't fully understand the attention her adorable popcorn heist had garnered. But maybe one day, when she's older, she'll watch those viral videos and see how a tiny act of curiosity managed to remind the world of something big: the importance of kindness and connection. So, the next time life offers you an unexpected moment, embrace it. You never know whose heart you might touch or how far that small gesture could ripple.